Good afternoon, everyone. Today's video is about nutrition and exercise, the basics. There's a lot deeper information you can get into when talking about nutrition and exercise. This is just going to be a really brief overview. It'll probably be review for a lot of you, but there might be some information that you didn't know. So, nutrition basically starts with nutrients. And the first thing that comes to mind with nutrients is calories. Calories is just a measure of energy. The macronutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And within those, there are different kinds of carbs, different kinds of proteins, and different kinds of fats. They can be natural or processed. Proteins can be lean proteins, or they can have a lot of fat in them. And fats can be saturated fat or unsaturated fat. Saturated fats are going to be things like butter. Anything that's solid at room temperature generally has saturated fat. Lean protein would be chicken or a light fish, whereas a fatty protein might be a steak. And carbs can be anything from potatoes, vegetables, fruits, to cereal, cake, sugar, refined sugar. You can see at the left here, there's a nutrition facts. This is actually from a granola box. And you can see that it's mainly carbohydrates, as that's a grain. And there's also some sugar in there, but there's protein, there is fat. And so this is something that someone might have for breakfast, and as you can see, it kind of hits all of those macronutrients. So putting it all together, how do you go about making a meal? As you just saw in nutrition facts, that had all of those food groups on it. This is the My Plate, which is choosemyplate.gov. This is their new answer to the food pyramid. And as you can see, there's vegetables, fruits, grains, and protein. And they're kind of broken up and divided in a way that you could see how you'd portion them out on your plate. There's also dairy to the side there, which would be a few servings of milk or cheese or something like that. They do emphasize lean dairy, so skim milk, because cheese and some full-fat dairies can have a lot of saturated fat and a lot of cholesterol, which we'll get into later. So you can see here, your plate should be mainly fruits and vegetables, half fruits and vegetables, with some grains or carbohydrates and some protein. So why do you want to eat well? Why do you want to focus on nutrition? Well, there are some diseases that you can get that are related to eating food. And these are often called obesity-related diseases, but they're really more related to poor nutrition and diet. And they can affect anyone who, whether or not they are obese or not. So here we see diabetes, which generally, and these are all going to be general, there are a lot of things that play into these, including genetics. But diabetes is generally caused by too much processed sugar. This is type 2 diabetes. Too much processed sugar, so you want to limit your processed foods, your processed sugar, your processed carbohydrates, and stick to fruits and vegetables mainly. High blood pressure is another nutrition and diet related disease, which can lead to stroke, generally caused by excess sodium. So the USDA recommends that you limit that to between 1,500 to 2,300 milligrams a day. 1,500 if you're already at a risk group, which would be African American, over 50, 2,300 for most regular people. And high cholesterol is another poor nutrition and diet related disease, which can lead to heart disease and heart attack. That's caused by saturated fats, high dietary cholesterol. So if we go back to the nutrition facts, you can see there's no cholesterol in this granola. Something like cheese, eggs would have a lot of cholesterol in them, and you just want to limit that to 300 milligrams a day. Another key component of the nutrition and exercise plan is, of course, exercise. This is widely debated, and a common saying is that you can't out-exercise a bad diet, which is very true. But exercise does play a large role in staying healthy. And the government recommends we aim for 2.5 hours of moderate intensity exercise a week, which means you're breaking a sweat, but you can still hold a conversation. And they recommend that in the form of cardio Now, cardio is going to burn calories. Weight exercises, weight-bearing exercises are going to build muscle, which can help you burn fat, and also just make you stronger overall. It's good for your heart, it's good for your bones. So you definitely want to have a mix of the two of those. An important thing to remember is that some activity is better than no activity. It's, if you think, oh, I can't do 2.5 hours, I'm not going to do anything, that's not the way it works. Do anything you can is better than doing nothing. And the last component to having a healthy lifestyle with nutrition and exercise is getting enough sleep. The CDC refers to this as sleep hygiene. So making sure that you sleep in a room that's dark, you turn off your electronics an hour before you go to sleep. That's a room that's the right temperature, not too hot, not too cold. Those are all things that contribute to having optimal sleep. They say there's no magic number. Everyone needs a different amount of sleep. Teenagers, they say, need about 10 hours of sleep a day, whereas some adults can get by on 7 or even less than that. That's something that, is personal to each person, but you want to make sure that you are getting enough, you don't feel tired during the day. So that's our brief overview of nutrition, exercise, and a little bit on sleep, just to help you have a healthy lifestyle. So it might have been a review, but I think that there's a lot of good information in there, and I'll see you next time.